Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at a couple of Joy Toy Warhammer 40K figures. We've got three different figures from the Kappic Eagles.
Transport 2, this is Bravo team on pad 1, ready for pickup, over.
Bravo 2, this is Transport. We are inbound. Prepare for extract, over.
Okay, like we always do, we're going to take a quick look at the packaging, and there's not much new here. All three are nearly identical, just like the figures themselves, but we're still going to do an overview. We're still going to talk about them because they are pretty cool. So what we've got here is the Plasma Gunner, the Tempestor, and the Medic. They all they all seem to share the same body. What's different are their accessories and their heads. And the boxes are exactly the same as well, just with a different rendering of the picture, or of the figure, excuse me, on the cover, the front. Not much really going on here. It does show on the back what each figure comes with. And as you can see, the Gunner and the Tempestor are both helmeted figures, but they do have different helmets. And the Medic does have a beret on, a red beret, which is similar, I think, to the other one that we opened. I'll pull him out when we have these all open at once. But you can see they do come with different accessories. It looks like they all have the same backpack, but they all have different weapons. And the Medic looks like he includes a special first aid kit suitcase, I guess you can call that, or briefcase. They do all look like they have two extra set of hands. The Tempestor looks like he's got one extra, I think that's a sword, a chainsaw sword with the gun. He has the plasma gun, and he has looks like a chainsaw kind of gun as well, the Medic. All right, so that's the packaging, guys. Let's get them open. Okay, so here are the figures out of package, and I've had some time to play with them, and they are very good. I like them a lot. They all do have the one sort of flaw that they share, because they share the same body. Let's go ahead and move the boxes. Well, before we do that, here is the Grenadier. This is the one I've already opened on the channel. I'll put a little link here in the video of the overview of the Grenadier. But you can see this is my squad. I've got 4 of these guys. I think this is where I'm going to keep it. I'm gonna sort of play on the fact maybe this is like some elite team that gets dropped behind enemy lines to take out like high value targets. But I don't think I'm going to get any more. I do really like these guys. I think they're pretty good. Let's go over them a little bit more. Let's put the Grenadier back here. But I think what we've got here is this is the Medic. Here is the Tempestor. And then we've got the Plasma Gunner. Let's see, I'll just adjust the camera here a little bit. There we go. So I think, so the articulation's all the same. They all have the same limitation, which is that their their shoulders, because of their pauldrons, you can't really get them up in a T pose. So this is, pretty much as far as you can go getting their arms up. Overall, though, they're still really good. You get a good, fairly good, leg split. They do have the rocker or pivot ankle, double hinged knee, thigh swivel, double hinged elbow, ball wrist. And the shoulder, if you did take off these pauldrons, which they are removable, you could take them all. So are these what would you call it, the forearm guard there. You could take those off, and there's a little piece there around the wrist that also comes off. You could take all those off and that would open him up, but you'd lose the effect of the armor. And the armor is one of the selling points of this figure. That's one of the reasons that I got them, is love the armor. I love the color of the armor. And these guys, they've got like this sort of, especially this one, he's got like the German, Imperial Germany World War I type helmet, but the armor is almost like medieval or, you know, like Renaissance Europe type armor. And it's just this blending of the two with these sort of space age weapons. And that's what really drew me to these guys, and why I bought them. So if I could do sort of a mix of these guys, I'd say that I think out of the let's say even the 4 of them, I think this is the best one, the Tempestor, and I'll tell you why. I think he comes with the best weapons. This gun, to me, this gun is better than any of these other weapons that these guys have. And he also comes with the sword, which is an added bonus. Now, they all do come with the canteen here. It is removable, and on the other side, they have another removable piece, which is on these guys. It's this little, I'm not sure what that would be, like ammunition or something, but it's a little box bag there. The medic, he doesn't have that. He's got, maybe those are grenades there. Maybe those are something else, some other type of medicine, or, you know, tourniquets or something like that a medic would have. The body on the plasma gunner is the same as the Tempestor. And then the Grenadier, he's different than all 3 of them. He's got the short sword, and something different here on his leg. I'm not sure what that is. Some more packs. Maybe those are extra grenades too. So if I was going to say, you know, kind of take these guys apart, I would say I'd use this guy's weapons, his helmet. I'd probably put them on the medic's body, but I would take the short sword and put them on here. So we'd have the short sword from the Grenadier, the medic's body, with the Tempestor's weapons and head. And to me, that would be the perfect one of these. The one drawback out of these 3 that I don't like, the only thing besides their shoulder pauldrons, their arms don't come up all the way, is this plasma gunner, this band here that he has for to hold his gun. Even on the picture, you can see they kind of hide it, because you can't really use it. You know, when he has the gun in hand, it just kind of it's out there, and you can't really put it anywhere. You can't really, you know, get it anywhere. And because of the ornaments, you know, this antenna here and this guy here, I'm not sure what that is. But even when you sling it over his arm, it just doesn't sit that well. It just kind of, because of the antenna here, you can't get it to totally lay down. And if you do, it's very awkward, you know, because of the size of the gun. And that's the drawback for this guy. And the only drawback really for the 3 of these, or the 4 of these, is I think this, even though it's a really nice gun, and this thing's not removable, I know somebody probably would just cut it off. And you could do that. And you could probably cut it really well so you couldn't tell it was there. But I try not to do stuff like that to the figures, but you can see it just is in the way. It's a bit oversized. So I kind of tried to tuck it like they do on the cover of the box. And I think it's acceptable sort of in that way. But in a real shooting pose or something, it just kind of doesn't work. And you can see too, because of all the armor, he does have a little bit of trouble getting that other hand under that gun. One of the good things about this medic is this really cool first aid box, I'll call it. It does not open or anything, but it's painted really well. It's really cool. It's a nice touch. You know, he's got these grenades. They don't come off. They all have the same backpack. Just the 4 different heads, the 4 different accessories, and then a few mods here on the side. But that's about it. They're all pretty much the same. They're all really nice. I do like them a lot. But I think at 4, I've got a pretty good little squad here. And I don't think I would get any more. I know they've got a guy with a flag, and they've got a commander with a jacket. But I think this is where I'm going to stay. Again, I think this is probably the best one. Just my opinion. But they're all really nice. They're all really good. All the weapons are painted really well. You know, as much as I don't like the band on that, the gun is really nice. It is really well painted and weathered. Even the bandolier, I'll say, is a nice brown, pliable plastic. Just so big. Great ornamentation throughout. Very nice figures. Very nice figures. Very cool. This is the only other, besides the Tau Empire, these are the only other 40K guys that I've decided to get, and it's also because of the scale. They're not that much bigger. They are bigger, you know, than regular figures, but they're not so much bigger. They're a little more like thicker, girthy than other figures. So we'll do a quick comparison. Pull out my Boss Fight Studio Phantom. Heroes Hacks Phantom. See if I can get him to stand here. It's a Fortnite Fox. Got a Vintage Collection Anakin Skywalker. And you can see they're bigger. They are. All the 40K guys are bigger. But the height-wise, these guys are a lot more in line. And if you're doing photography, you know, if you're using perspective, putting, you know, certain guys closer to the camera and other guys farther away, you can get away with the scale being off a bit. The height is right. It's just the sort of the girth, the thickness of these 40K guys. But I know the Ultramarines, you know, they've got the height, the girth, you know, the width. They got everything on a regular 118 375 figure, which, you know, they should. Here is the Joy Toy Corvus Belli Infinity Padre, and he's a lot more in line with these guys. Let's see if I can get him to stand. Really like this Padre. He's one of my favorite right now. There we go. And then let's pull out, here's an Eagle Force Warhol figure. And again, you can see the difference in size. All right. But still, you know, with perspective and all that, they still look pretty good together. All right. So that is my overview, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you're going to pick any of these guys up. There's so many different, you know, armies in the 40K stuff. Did you guys pick, you know, this guy, or did you pick the red ones, the yellow ones, the blue ones, you know, the white ones? There's so many to choose from. But the Tau Empire and these Kappic Eagle guys, Astra Militarum, that's who I'm kind of sticking with. But I think this squad is done for me for now. But you never know. If they get on sale, I might pick a couple of more up, kind of build this out a little bit more. But again, I think this is probably my favorite. And then maybe the Medic or the Grenadier. This guy, because of that gun, he kind of falls to the end, even though I really like his helmet and everything. All right, guys, so I'm going to take some photos now. I hope you'll stick around and take a look at those, and I'll see you next time.